Your Frontier opening bell, everyone. Welcome to the show. Is the 11th of October, Wednesday. Let's get the show started. Just take a quick run through a number of Frontier African markets that we cover on a daily basis. Monday was a positive trading day for the Nigerian exchange. The market booked about 355 billion naira. On Tuesday, the market slumped by about 65 billion naira. The market index down below the 67 level by 17 basis points, led by Access Bank, Jitco, Zenith Bank, a few of the names in the banking sector. The BRVM better by 11 basis points. The Bank of Africa, Niger Republic shares returned to positive territory on Tuesday, as well as other names on the BRVM composite, such as the Orange Telecom, up by about 7%. The Zimbabwe stock market was a very big day, about 1% in positive for the markets, led by Econet Wireless and a few other names in the banking sector. The Egyptian stock market, a very strong 1.62% to the upside, 19,724. The Nairobi stock market eked out 12 basis points at 93.60. The market still not yet back in the groove, in the manner of speaking, for the largest stock market east of the continent. The South African GSE roared 3.06%. The resources, industrials, and financial index on the market was had a very positive Tuesday, very strongly taking the index, the all-share index of the GSE back above the 73,000 level. The rand also finished positive around 1900, up by 1.23% against the US dollar, taking its cue from the rest of the developed markets. The risk-on sentiment we saw, despite the latest hostilities in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas for that horrific terrorist action on the soil of Israel last weekend. So let's see what's going on now with the East African corridor as far as the big headlines for this day is concerned. Ethiopia and Norway 2 days ago knocked together about $25 million grants. It is part of the second phase of the investment program that Norway and Ethiopia has been pursuing. There's a whole lot of deals within that particular investment program, which will benefit one of the largest economies in the Horn of Africa. In the meantime, President William Ruto of Kenya has okayed a privatization of loss-making state-owned enterprises. There's a whole lot of them that will be unbundled by the government. Just get the government some needed cash flow to manage the state of the economy. And Kenya power prices up about 3.7% because of higher cost of fuel is the same pain that fuel importers are facing around the world. And Ethiopia is set to hit 7.9% economic growth this year. That's according to the latest World Economic Report released on Tuesday by the IMF at the ongoing World Bank IMF annual meetings in Marrakesh, Morocco. And Uganda's central bank is projecting an increase in the rate of loan default in the country. Let's take it up straight to West Africa, including Nigeria, where the World Bank, the latest IMF report, is forecasting Nigeria's growth to about 2.9% for this year from 3.3% last year. That GDP growth expectation is likely to be around 3.1% for 2024 if the current administration's policies and actions stay on that trajectory. Nigeria will also benefit from a bit of a tapering in global inflation reading. But it's not uhuru yet for the Naira, which fell to about 1,010 against the US dollar on the street as we started the week because the demand on FX is increasing. Today, the USAID and about 11 other institutions, including Chapel Hill Denham, one of Nigeria's biggest banking investment banking firms and services company, will be at the exchange for what we call the reverse roadshow of what was done last month in United States, in New York, to be precise, on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. We're expecting that all of them to be on the floor of the exchange today for the closing bell and to brief the market on that multi-billion-dollar investment flow being worked out between Nigeria and, of course, the United States. And the IMF says Ghana's about 2.7% growth is what will come through for next year, and that the fresh $1.6 billion injection into the economy from the IMF facility by the IMF is on standby. The stock market took that positive yesterday. The stock market in Ghana finished in the green. And the UEMOA Commission has signed an agreement with the Africa 50, which is that subsidiary infrastructure, private infrastructure funding financing arm of the African Development Bank Group based in Cairo. Let's take it up to Southern Africa. Take it down, by the way, Southern Africa, but take it all up and see what's making the headlines. Zimbabwe's second quarter GDP rose about 1.5% quarter on quarter against 4.5% in the same quarter of last year. And the chairman of ESCAM, Mfo Makwana, has resigned, and interim chairman is in place. The whole trouble on the leadership as well as the utility operations is still hanging in there, pushing Africa's most advanced economy, shaking it up as far as utility electricity is concerned. So the IMF is expecting Zambians and the creditors to ink a deal before the end of this week. It's already Wednesday. We're keeping an eye open to see if that happens. That'll be a big relief to President Ichilema and his administration in Lusaka. And the South Africa's competition has accepted 16 million rand as the settlement in that price-fixing case in South Africa involving Unilever, one of the world's largest consumer goods company. Let's finish up back up in North Africa, where it all begins. So let's see where the World Bank annual meeting is going from today. We're expecting a formal briefing of the event today, this morning in Marrakesh. In the meantime, the annual core inflation in Egypt was about 39 doorsteps of 40% in September. That's according to latest data. The IMF therefore lowered Egypt's 2023-2024 growth forecast to 3.6%. That was in its latest outlook that was released on Tuesday, 4.2% for 2022-2023 fiscal year period. Egypt and Kenya, and this is some good news, exploring ways to boost trade and investment between the North African country and the biggest economy in east of the continent. And Maersk, one of the world's largest carrier on the oceans, has acquired 290 megawatts renewable energy portfolio in Egypt. Part of the global shipping companies going green, by the way. They contribute very strongly to the global carbon footprint. And Salafin in Morocco, which is a subsidiary of the BMFG bank, reporting the first half this year profit dive of 18%. That's corporate news. And South Sudan in the Sahel says it's gotten $250 million World Bank funding. That will help the country move up and rebalance its fiscal position. Those are your headlines this Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone, wherever you are, whatever you're trading on the African continent. Keep it here on Frontier Africa Reports. I am Bosin Amofai, and I'll see you very soon.